For the last couple of weeks, we've been making homemade soups from homemade stocks that we made back in the beginning of January. But what happens if we didn't make a stock? What if we want to take a little bit of a different approach? Well, I think tomato soup is a perfect example of what can be done. I'm going to make here a mirepoix, which is just a soup base of aromatic vegetables. It's really the same concept as a stock, just faster and in the same pan. A couple of differences are that I'm not going to use my onion skins because eventually I'm going to eat everything that goes in that pot. And you can do both. You can make a mirepoix and deglaze it with some stock, add more flavors, more layers of flavors. That's going to make for just a better soup. But today we're just doing the mirepoix. First thing I want to do here is get a little olive oil over medium heat. Let that warm up while I dice this onion. We really want everything to be roughly the same size here. We're not going to win any awards for style because eventually this is all going to go in the blender, so we don't have to worry about making things bite-sized. We just want the same size. So I'm going for about half inch cubes, slightly over a centimeter. Anytime I've ever hurt myself with a knife, I've been trying to cut a round thing. So make it flat. Usually in a mirepoix, there's going to be celery, not bell pepper. This is a much more southern United Statesian thing to do. But I do like the flavor of the red bell pepper in my tomato soup. So that's also going to get the half inch dice. These garlics I might just quarter. They're already pretty small. I want them to release their flavor slowly. Beyond that, I'm just going to open a couple of cans. This is a can of whole peeled tomatoes. It's 15 ounces or about 420 grams. And use what you have. I would personally rather use a larger can of tomatoes for this. I think sometimes they come in about 25 or 28 ounces. But these are better for making pizza because they don't give me as much. So this is what I have on hand. Use what you have on hand. And I'm going to open a can of tomato paste here. And I used a whole can of tomato paste on my brown stock, which I didn't need to do, but I did anyway because I didn't want to store it. If I would have had a little bit of hindsight, I could have saved it for right now. And all I'll need after that is about a tablespoon of oregano, a little bit of salt. Come over here. So I just wanted to give those carrots a little head start before I added these bell peppers. Bell peppers will cook faster than carrots every single time. And this is going to be a sort of a slow process. What we want to do is cook these down slowly so that the sugars come out of those onions. We don't have to add anything funky like white sugar to our soup. That's completely unnecessary. Medium heat, medium low, and just let it come together. And when this is smelling really good, we'll add the rest of the stuff. So you see how you can see a little bit of translucent color coming from the onions? That's when we can add our garlic in. Taste one of your onions to see if it's sweet enough. When you've reached a point where you can eat that and go, man, that is a sweet onion, then you're done. I'm not quite to that point. Right now they taste a little bit more like onion rings. Alright, I can smell the garlic now. The onions are tasting really good. I'm going to go in with about a tablespoon of oregano. Thanks, Mom, for these fancy measuring spoons. If you're using fresh herbs, I'd go in at the end instead. I'll make a mental note to tell you at which point in the video I would add the fresh herbs. But I want these to sort of marry with my tomato paste. About a tablespoon of that. Get that as incorporated with these vegetables as I can. Let that tomato paste sort of cook in there, cook into those vegetables. There we go. Wait until that nice layer of tomato fond kind of forms on the bottom there. We can add our tomato sauce. Scrape all that up. Now I'm just going to take this off the heat a minute while I talk. These are whole peeled tomatoes. If you want to get them already diced, already sliced, whatever you need, you can do that. But look at how these just fall apart in your hands. There's just no need at all. I'm going to smash them. You don't need to. I just like more of the liquid in there. And I like this pan, this braising pan, because it's a nice wide surface. All of my mirepoix can be touching the heat at the same time. So for single serving to like 3 or 4 serving soups, this is perfect for me. I'm going to add a little bit of water. This is about the consistency I want it at the end. However, I am going to cover it, turn it on low, and simmer it for an hour. Check that out. You see how thick and rich and delicious that looks stewing for an hour? There are certain blenders that are meant to be hot blenders. This one came with a warning not to put overly hot liquids in it. So I'm going to take this off the heat, and I have a couple options here. I can either let it sit and steam and cool, or since I already know that this is going to be kind of a thick soup, I'm just going to grab a couple ice cubes, and then that'll serve to thin it out just a little bit. I think it's important to note I haven't salted yet. I haven't put any salt in, so I'm just gonna put a pinch of salt in so I can taste everything. And then I know that I'm gonna want about a tablespoon of balsamic vinegar. Scrape down the sides, get anything that's kind of stuck in those sides. And then I know just from my taste that I want about 1/3 of a cup, 1/2 cup of heavy cream. I'm on the right track. Could use just a little bit more salt, maybe a pinch more oregano, and this is fine that we did it before and we're doing it now. Soup is all about building layers of flavor. Balsamic, and it's creamy enough. That's it, right there. All right, let's dish this up and put some stuff on top. If you are cooling this down to blend it, you will have to heat it up again. I just used the same pan I already had. I'm gonna garnish with one of those crostini we made the other day. A little Parmesan over top. I want maybe a leaf or two of some basil. And I'm just gonna go very lightly on the outside with some more balsamic. A little bit of olive oil. There we go. I got 2 freezer soups out of it. If you're gonna be storing them in glass jars, make sure that you give a little bit of headspace. Water expands in the freezer. I'm gonna wait until these are completely cool. One's going in the freezer and the other one's probably just gonna go in the refrigerator for later this week. All right, Aunt Annie, here's your tomato soup with basil. Got some roasted red pepper in there, some fresh Parmesan, a little balsamic vinegar and olive oil drizzle. I really enjoy how all these flavors just work so wonderfully together. The balsamic gives that nice punchy acidity that it needs, a little bit of sweetness that's rounded out with that cream, tomato, Parmesan, basil. There's a reason these things go together. Let's submerge that crostini and get it a little soaky. Well, thanks for the suggestion, Annie. I know it was a little bit long in the making, but I hope you make this and I hope you enjoy it. Cheers.